Welcome to our video about HR planning logic and JD updates. An understanding about those two topics is crucial in order to plan a successful recruitment. And before thinking about how you can attract applicants, you need to know how many you actually need. As Benjamin Franklin once said, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. But not to worry. Whereas it might have been difficult in the past to know how many people you need, and VPs, as I can tell from my own experience, have very specific ideas about how many members they want. With applying the HR planning logic, you as the VPTM decide based on the activity guideline and numbers how many members should be in the team, and not the other way around. The main goal of the video is to get you step to step through the HR planning flow so that you understand and can apply it in order to get your planning number for recruitment. Added to that, you will receive the much anticipated update about JDs, so that you have an overview about the JDs this year, clarity about the materials, and how to use them, especially related to recruitment. Before you can get started with the HR planning, all the exchange programs, so the focus and the non-focus programs, have to do their numerical planning. The number should be defined by the tier that you're currently in, and you can find further information about it in the guideline, which I will also post below. After having planned out the numbers for the exchange programs, we can get started with the HR planning. As a step one, you have to have an overview on your current HR data, so the status quo. By looking at that, you have to have all information about how many members there are in your LC and in every team, how many members are staying in the LC, how many members are in town during holidays, and also what are the team preferences of the members. So do they want to stay in their teams or do they maybe want to change? After having an overview about your current HR data, we can get started with step 2, in which you plan the member productivity for every exchange program. For that, you can use the activity guidelines and the operations productivity history as a guideline to derive the missing amount of the capacity you need. So you have a look at the activity guideline, which is also linked below. You look at which tier you're currently in and what is the recommendation of productivity, and then you compare it to the productivity of last year to see if it is realistic. So for example, if you're planning an OGV with 20 matches and you're in tier 5, you're looking at the activity guideline in tier 5, where member productivity of 4 matches per semester is recommended. If you have 1 member in OGV left, that means that you need to recruit 4 more members for OGV in the first semester. You can compare it to the productivity history to see if 4 matches per member have indeed been the case in the past. As a step 3, you can now plan out your front and back office ratio. By simply looking at the tier that you're currently in, and with the recommended ratio, you can simply calculate how many members you need in TM and Fin. And now, with the number of all needed members in every program, you can compile the open JDs. Related to that, I quickly want to give you some updates about the JDs. Right now, the NSTs of all the different functions are in the process of finalizing the JD booklet of this year, which will be released on Friday afternoon or evening. So you will have an overview about the different JD recommendations for every team, how to build up the teams and the team structures. I now want to introduce you to something which is new this year, and it's a recommendation from our side. We designed a general member JD. The idea behind the general member JD is that it could be useful to have a JD commonly defined in every LC with member criteria that you define in the EB and in the LC, and with that to do recruitment. You can use the JD to introduce someone new to ISAC and explain to them what the purpose of an ISAC member is, and also what are the basic tasks that everyone fulfills, so that they really identify with the LC and ISAC and not just one team. So what does this mean for you? Well, first of all, you can start applying the HR planning logic if you haven't done it so far. And if you have any questions, you can, of course, ask in the channel or approach your consultant about it. And then second of all, you can start discussing in your EBs if you want to introduce a general member JD, what are the common criteria, and then you can just have a look at the JD booklet, which will be released on Friday, and start thinking about the JDs that you will need in every team. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that this video was able to give you some insights about the HR planning logic, but the simplest way to get it is to actually do it. So yeah, just do it. And I'm looking very much forward to rock this recruitment with you. Bye guys!